Alrighty, we're back.
Are we live?
We did it.
I
Stayed
feel
old school.
responsible for this week. I mean, both of these are kind of my doing, considering
Yeah,
that I chose Malick. Like that was who I was really, pushing
yeah.
for. And I picked for some reason, I don't know, this one just kept popping up in my searches on Letterboxd, but Straw Dogs was the second one, so interesting double feature.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We're in
What do
the
we
shit here.
what do we want to dig into first here, boys? Do we
I'm
want
not.
to do the movie chest? Do we want to do
Yeah,
Malick?
I don't have
Maybe
much
just
to say on Straw Dogs, so
yeah, we
I feel
can
like we could
bust through that.
knock that one
Okay,
out
yeah,
right
we'll do
away.
Straw Dogs. So Straw Dogs, starring Dustin Hoffman?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, that didn't sound right for some reason. Dustin Hoffman and some other girl who's been in this guy's movies, who is known for three very controversial sexual scenes from three different movies,
Wow.
this being one of them.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
so this movie sucked. Um, I think I hated this movie.
Wow.
The more I got into it, it's just because
It was frustrating to watch for me. Yeah.
I'll get into it later. What did you guys think? What did you guys
So
think?
Yeah, go ahead, Noah.
let me just preface like Tree of Life, a lot of good like toxic masculine themes, generational trauma themes. I also recently watched The Iron Claw this week, which
Oof,
is deals with the same thing. But
getting heavy in that fucking
oh
generational
dude,
trauma.
I cried at Iron Claw a little bit at the end.
Yeah.
Same.
I was like,
First
damn.
movie ever since Eight Below to make me cry. So
Ooh, 8 Below, dude,
Fucking
dogs will
eight
get
below.
you. Dogs will get you. I can't.
Yeah, that's a childhood cry if I've ever heard one.
oh yeah, it was in the theaters too.
Yep.
My boy. Yeah.
They
But
left you on the post? Anyways, continue.
out of
That's the
the
only part I
freeze,
remember.
out in the wilderness. Yeah. But yeah, so I was like, and then this one, straight Straw Dogs, is like the type of toxic masculinity that's not quite self-aware, that it's happening. I mean, it is a little bit, there's a rape scene and everything. But at least from Dustin Hoffman's character, like
Yeah.
I felt like his character was like less aware to I don't know, it just felt messy and this like the female character is kind
Old.
of set up to be like she wants to like take charge and be a strong woman, but then is not really kind of. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just a mess for me. It was just like a mix of things, and yeah, not
Yeah, it's pretty choppy. Feels
yeah,
pretty old. It was pretty hard
hate
for
it.
me to get into it at the start, for sure.
Yeah,
By the end of it, I didn't hate it. I think it did a lot of things successfully that it was like going for. Whether I like agreed with the characters' decisions or like wanted to see them, no. But like I think like dramatically it set up a premise that it fulfills. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I disagree. I think
No.
yeah,
just by the end of it, it's okay. So one of the main big sequences that happens in it is this scene where she is raped by two dudes, but the first dude, it seems like she kind of gets into it there at the end.
mhm,
Um,
Yeah.
but
weird.
anyway, the other
Weird
guy jumps
energy.
in, and clearly she is not into that. But like, you would think that's the cause for the revenge from Dustin Hoffman's character, but she never relays the information to him. His
That's
sort
true.
of
Yeah, which is also
like
frustrating.
revenge or like wanting to fight back is, I'm trying to keep this guy. This is my house, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make sure that nobody gets in my house, my rules, all that stupid fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
So then, what was the point of the rape scene? It had no purpose. By that, it was null and void. I mean, it never came back up.
Yeah,
It
Yeah.
never like had any consequences. Because even at the end, she was like, the guy who raped her was like, the first guy, he was, talking real sweet to her. And she's like, "Yeah, I'll open the door for you." That was weird. Again, it's like she was into the first guy clearly. Then the second guy was the one that she wasn't into. Even when he starts attacking her again the second time upstairs, the one guy shoots him or whatever. But like she's like looking to him for assistance. I don't know. That was just
yeah,
weird. It didn't work in that regard.
I think like what I got from it was like there's obviously this abusive relationship drama that's going on, and like Dustin Hoffman's character, they were trying to push like that he's also abusive in his own ways and not
Mhm.
caring
Right.
about her and not like factoring in her like life or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so I was like, it's like this weird dichotomy between characters of like this one's worse than this one, that is worse than this one, is worse than, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
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 so like that's where it's like slightly successful, but I mean you're totally right that like dramatically in writing, you'd think like the reveal would have to come to the main character of what
And
happened
then,
in the plot to then
yeah, and then he
further
would snap.
that. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
that would that's kind of what I was expecting, and it never really happened.
Right.
So that, yeah, for sure, I
But
get that.
even on top of that, the guy that he's like saves in the end, and he's like driving, and he's like, I don't know how to get home from here, and the guy's like, me either, haha. But like, where's the consequences for him killing the little girl? I mean, he
Yeah,
choked out this girl, killed her, left
yeah.
her, and he
But
gets
she
away with it.
lured him, so you know it's he wasn't at full. No, I mean there's like some male energy in this movie that's like kind of like targeted to women almost in a way of like you guys are you're the responsible, you know, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of feels that a
It's
little bit.
yeah.
And it's just like every character was so unlikable. And like the main characters, I don't understand their chemistry. They had none. It was zero chemistry. And it was just, I don't know, their motives that they had, the interactions with each other, nothing worked in this movie. Maybe, I mean, I'm alright watching older movies.
Yeah.
It just felt like really dated, this one. And
Yeah.
again, the whole gratuitous rape scene, like when you put a rape scene in a movie, it has to be there. Like you have to have a purpose for it, right? It has to have
This character
something to
changing
it.
moment, this plot driven
That just
something.
felt, yeah, that just felt like let's do it to do it, you know? I
Mhm.
don't know.
I
No,
could see
I
that. I mean, I think like the movie sets up this like luring evil from like the outside in the town. So
Yeah,
like it
no, it
doesn't come out
definitely
of
felt,
nowhere for me. Like
yeah,
it was kind of like coming, and she's like in the window naked or whatever, and it's like,
yeah,
are you
yeah.
signaling me? Are you not signaling me? What am I? You know,
definitely. Yeah, no,
there's
I,
build up there, but yeah, I mean, once the escalation starts and it becomes just like in-house drama, I was kind of like on board by that point, just because like I could ride with the characters, but I mean, I kind of agree. It's like pretty sloppy along the way, and I couldn't even tell some characters apart at certain points. Some of
Yeah.
the dudes, I was
yeah,
like, is this that dude or what the fuck? Like, so
Mhm.
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's I get like the lead up in the town. Like this is straight out of a Stephen King book for sure. Because like this is like the town of Derry. Everybody's just scumbag fucks, you know.
yeah,
So that's just what it felt like the whole time. I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm in the town of Derry. So yeah, the leading up to it was like, okay, I'm waiting for the big thing to make the whole snap happen. What's going to
right.
be the domino that drops first?
Yeah.
But the
Mhm.
domino that drops first just completely fucking whiffs. And then later on down the road in the last 25 minutes, there's just he's like, I gotta protect my house, which is ironic because he didn't when he
Right.
went hunting with the boys. So
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I mean by frustrating, like talking about that, because it's just those things just didn't line up. And yeah, because I was kind of in on the character's dynamic, like Dustin Hoffman and his wife's dynamic of like, he's invested in his work, he's too busy. Although if you have a wife like that, man, come on.
Yeah,
But
stop doing fucking math equations, you loser.
for real, nerd.
Right.
But like I don't know. Yeah, I forget where I was going with that, but it just frustrated me where it's like,
Yeah, I mean, like the
why is
cat
that like
reveal, like I thought that was pretty shocking, and it like set
That
the
was
first.
successful,
That was
yes.
like that to me. That
yeah
was like the first domino, and then like the biggest domino is like with the woman, obviously. But even like when your cat is hung from a fucking like string, Dustin Hoffman's just like, well, I didn't really get it. Didn't really come up in conversation, you know. Like, didn't
yeah
really ask
dude
She's
anybody
like, do
about.
fucking
something about it. And then she brings out milk and he's like, that's it. You fucking blew it. God
Right.
damn it, you know? Now I'm gonna
Yeah.
go hunt with
what
him. We're gonna be friends. It's like,
yeah
Yeah, and they're gonna leave me in the woods, and I'm just gonna kind of like look around as if I'm like 10 years old or some shit, you know.
yeah
And
yeah.
yeah
And another
yeah that
thing that I didn't find successful was he turned into a complete like sociopath in the end, where he just like had no feeling and he was just a master fucking killer,
yeah,
setting traps, doing all
no
this
yeah
shit.
for
mm,
the line where he's like, are you what is he's talking about is like I don't know. He says it a few times where he's like telling her to grow up, basically, or like be an adult. It's like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
all right, dude, like take a look in the mirror, man. Come on.
Right. I thought
So,
Dustin Hoffman might have been like not a great casting choice, honestly. He's like too
yeah,
big of a face, kind of too like
Yeah.
standoffish already. Of like, I don't know if it was like a better person that this happened to. Like to me, it's like darker and kind of like more well conceived, where it's like the horror of it happening to like decent people is more scary than
Yeah.
just like to like kind of dickish people that are just doing their own
Right.
shit. You know, like
yeah.
Well, there's a remake, so it
Oh,
might be
really?
better.
really
Oh,
Yeah,
Straw
yeah.
Dogs
Skarsgård
2.
and
Oh,
I forget the
Uh,
other
James Marsden.
person.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Marsden.
Okay.
oh, for real?
I
Oh,
accidentally rented that one on Prime. I was like, oh,
oh,
this is
wrong dog.
yeah.
I mean, watching Wind River though, which is the most
hmm
gruesomely visceral rape scene I've seen in a movie, it
Yeah,
feels like the DNA was extracted from this movie a little bit.
but done
Unlike,
Okay.
successfully. There was like the cause and effect was different in Wind River.
for sure.
Like, and the characters, like you were mentioning earlier, the characters you cared about them more. They were like relatable, nice people, good people.
Yeah, that's what makes it
So,
terrible, honestly. It's
yeah,
like they were good people and they were like happy, you know, like
yeah, exactly.
yeah. But like just like the some of the choreography or stuff, like some of the like how she like wakes up after and it is like happening again, you know, type of thing. Like,
Yeah,
ooh, I hate to like talk about that scene too because that's one of the worst reactions to a movie I've ever had.
I I think I told you this in the past, but when I watched that in theaters, I was like, I got so fucking hot, and I like sat up, and I
Same.
just was like, I gotta hit somebody.
It's
Like,
just like
Damn.
it sends something through your body. It's
yeah,
weird,
it's
man.
crazy.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's like too real almost that it's like
Yeah,
I'm feeling it. Like holy fuck. Like,
Yeah. Fuck. I
yeah,
mean, the only movie I can remember with like a pretty visceral rape scene is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
that one's fucked too.
That one's fucking.
It's
That
pretty
one
bad.
similar vibes.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
probably top three for sure. That's the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. But on a lighter note, I did feel some Hot Fuzz energy in this movie a lot too,
Yeah.
with like the evil secret evil town in the background
hmm
is like nefarious to the newcomers or whatever.
Yeah.
And in Hot Fuzz, there's a line where it's like this guy was an extra in Straw Dogs, and that's like the one thing they tout from their like actors or whatever. So I mean, Hot Fuzz, not a line is wasted, and not like everything is perfectly packaged to mean something. So I think like Edgar Wright obviously kind of likes this movie or respects it at least to like
Well,
do his
it
own thing.
definitely, yeah, it's at the, I would say, it started the whole like, I don't know if rape revenge is its own genre, but like it's, I
Mm.
mean, you have Last House on the Left. You have a movie that just came out last year, 2 years ago, called Revenge. It's pretty good. You have The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Wind River. I mean, I
Yeah,
Spit on Your Grave.
it's early
Yeah.
'70s too, so this is
Yeah,
probably quite shocking for that time. Like the
yeah.
violence and
Yeah.
the sexual nature, like it's pretty
Some of the
dark.
practical violence was pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Dude, when she slaps the shit out of that guy, I was like, damn. Yeah. Shit.
I did like the line to I think it's from an author, but it's like never been a kingdom given to so much bloodshed as that of Christ. He's kind of
hmm
talking shit to the priest or
Yeah, the
whatever.
priest. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a great fucking line.
I
It
like that
probably
one
wasn't
too.
written by those writers, but you know, it's
Mm.
good.
Yeah. I don't know. I ended up at a 2.5 for this one. Two, maybe go down to two. It's a
That's
movie.
fair. I think I was gonna give it like 3
Yeah.
because like a lot of the ideas are there, and I was comparing it to The Cars That Ate Paris, which I just watched recently by Peter Weir, and that movie's doing something similar, but so much sloppier. And I gave that one 2 stars.
Mm.
This one like has some things going for it, so I'll give it 3.
Right on.
1.5. Yeah,
Oof,
that's
I
big
mean,
yeah,
oofs.
that's it's just once that I was like, okay, this is gonna be a 2.5 movie because it gets its point across. It's just middle of the road. But when there was no mention of the big problematic scene, one of the big problematic scenes, when there was no mention of it, no consequences, no repercussions to the man choking. I was like, okay, this is just falling apart slowly.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely fair. I mean,
Hey,
it's tough too because this is a lot of. I hate like buying into some of the narrative for some of these old movies where it's like, dude, you gotta watch Straw Dogs if you haven't watched because this is in like 1,001
right.
movies to watch before you die, like the classic movie lover
Yeah.
like journals or whatever.
It
And
definitely
like, you
has
don't need
a
to watch
print,
this.
an imprint on like film for sure. Like I respect that
Somewhat.
about it, but it's just not a good movie, in
Uh,
my opinion.
No, I agree. I can't
like,
see myself rewatching it.
yeah, like as a movie lover, like a person that just watches any movie and will try to enjoy
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
in the modern age is like, how do you recommend this movie to like an average moviegoer?
No,
Yeah,
you're
and
right.
like you just can't honestly, and that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll watch it and dig in this way, but not for everybody anymore.
Leave it to the 70s. Leave it for the era it was
Right?
made in.
Yeah, just think about the time.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, moving on. Sorry.
Yeah. I'll be
We're
right
moving
back,
on
guys.
to Terrence Malick's next movie.
Yep. The
This
next
is this is
TM.
2011's The Tree of
Sorry.
Life.
Yep, here we go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Dude, okay, yeah. Didn't think it would happen.
What did you guys
Could
think
we
about
is
this
it
movie?
possible to just record voiceover and then
Yeah,
post it
later.
of us just sitting here without just kind of like looking around with
Yeah, like
voiceover
or
of our
we'll say
thoughts?
something and then there won't be audio for some reason.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
nah, I mean I just had to the whispering is off the charts in this one, man. It goes to a
There's a
Absolutely.
whole
lot.
nother level.
There's a lot. I
We
kinda dug it though.
Yeah.
when the end credits came, written and directed by Terrence Malick, I'm like, he should have whispered this. Like
Just
it should have been
every
Terrence
credit
Malick.
line.
Yeah.
Starring Brad Pitt.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, well,
Okay,
I guess
so
yeah, what's your first takes on it then?
this is my least favorite of his movies so far.
Damn.
Wow. Interesting. Wow.
Shit. Well, this is
Noah?
my most favorite of it so far.
That's Malik, baby. He's divisive.
For real. Yeah, I
Yeah.
liked it, man. And maybe it was because I was coming off the Iron Claw, you know, ride.
Riding the
I
high
was like,
still.
yeah, right at that generational trauma, the daddy issues. Um, yeah. So yeah, I dug it. And it felt good. Like the ending felt good for me. Like old Jack kind of walking on the beach with all the people, his parents and his brothers.
Yeah.
Um,
Wouldn't that be ideal?
Very similar to
right.
Iron Claw too. That's kind of
It
crazy.
is
All right,
very
so that's
similar.
That's
yeah,
really
for
similar.
yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't know. I liked it. The whispering, it was a bit just like a few too many times, I think. But I love the time we like spent with young Jack. Like him just kind of like wandering around, sort of like
Yeah,
ruminating.
Figuring
very
it out.
raw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I kind of feel this. I'm just like trying to figure out what the vibe is. Like trying to figure
Hmm.
out where you stand
Yeah.
with your
Especially in
brothers and your
relation
in
to
your
your
fam.
like dad too, who's obviously not
Yeah.
looking out for your best interest, but more on like a like honoring journey
Yeah.
or path or whatever. So it's
Mhm.
like you definitely have to figure out who you are outside of those ideals at a certain time in your life. That's pretty
Yeah.
true to
Yeah.
me.
It was cool. And yeah, like you get to see that when he's older, kind of like in the city, and it's like he's successful, to some degree.
Hmm.
Um,
And he's
but
still calling his dad to like apologize and shit,
yeah,
or whatever. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I don't know. It just hit for me. I was surprised. I didn't think it was going to. So
nice
it's like,
man.
damn.
I'm not. I think I'm on the same wavelength with you, Noah. I
Yeah,
think like this is my
one
favorite
of the
so
better
far.
I knew you guys were gonna say this. So I know why, all right?
Hmm.
Because
Okay.
this is as close to Stanley Kubrick as Malick has come because he used the same fucking
Absolutely.
VFX artist
Oh
as
really?
2001: A Space Odyssey. Brought
Oh,
him out of
That's why it's
fucking
so good.
retirement to do it.
yeah. Okay.
What?
Oh wow. Okay.
What? That's
Yeah.
that's fucking
I
sick. Nah.
when
Yeah,
I was
it
watching
is
it
kind of
and I
dope.
was like, Holy shit, this is the same guy that did 2001, isn't it? I swear to God. So I was going through the trivia. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And it was. So,
I
because it
mean,
is 2001.
he's
I was
gotten
yeah,
so much better since 2001, I'd say. Like,
true.
Oh,
I re-
absolutely.
Looked
honestly,
amazing.
I really like some. There's beautiful shots all throughout this movie, but there are some of like the best images I think I've ever seen in this movie.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah,
definitely. I agree
it's
100%.
crazy how good
it's
some of them
beautiful.
are.
I mean, his cinematography and obviously the way he knows how to like just let you ruminate in the atmosphere of things
Yeah,
in the universe is
Right.
like kind of unmatched. So I did
yeah.
appreciate that, but I was like, okay, move along. Let's go.
I
See, that's how
think
I felt on all the past Malick movies, and this one I was like, you know what, I feel the space here. Like I understand like why he's giving us time to like breathe and like let our minds wander a little bit here.
hmm,
Yeah.
I think like to me it's hard still to rate Malik because like if I look out at like what I think movies are, like he makes like in my subjective opinion not the correct way of like making films, you know.
Mm.
But like
I think a lot of people would agree with that, even the
yeah.
people he
Yeah.
works with. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like I gotta like try to put some of that shit out and just really like get like buckled down to what this guy's thinking, you know? And like I think the cosmic nature of this movie is almost like an end stamp on Malik's shit. Like all of his like
Yeah.
to like to dial into like all these like minute human moments and then to like zoom out to like the cosmic vastness of
Yeah.
all life and then zoom into like a cell and like see how like it all is like simple and like
Yeah.
that complicated. It's just like this. There's like with Malik, it's like this duality of like nature and conflict and like
Mm.
beauty
In all
in
his
that
movies.
somewhere,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I just like you said, no, I think I was like in the spaces that he was leaving. I was filling it in my mind in ways that I think he was intending,
Yeah.
and I gained a lot of meaning from the movie, you know. So
Same. No, same. That was something that hit largely for me too, was because yeah, it's like yeah, it gives you all those wide views, you know, you're in this universe, we're on this little blue orb. Um, so it's like all these what seems like huge issues for these characters, especially Jack and Brad Pitt's character. Uh, and even and especially by the end, you know, with the ending images, it's like, oh, this is a minute issue story. Like these are
to
all
life.
problems like of life that just
Hmm.
happen. That just you move on and that's that. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I don't know.
think
I
like
grew with the tree of life of this one, guys.
oh
I guess is what I'm
wow,
saying.
wow,
After
nice.
witnessing this, yeah,
I think like to with his like cutaways, he's like known for just like cutting away and doing random shit over here to the left and to the right. To me, I was like trying to dial into like how he's like tracking someone going through like a memory, like with Sean Penn's character. It's like in this moment maybe he's dying or something, I don't know because there's like a heaven at the end or whatever the fuck.
Hmm.
But it's
yeah,
like when we jump back to him as a kid, we see his life and how these moments affect him. And then when we jump out to like the cosmos and or like the first snake slithering in the ocean or whatever, to me it's like it's trying to capture this feeling of like when you're in this moment of life and you have this like it's you can't even really describe it. That's what I think is good about the movie, where like everything you're like contemplating everything and you're getting the signals back, but you don't know how to interpret them all. But you're just enjoying the moment of not knowing it, and you're going on with your life. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm just spouting
No, that
random shit now, but
no,
like,
it's like heavily philosophical. This movie, I think that's why
yeah,
I dug it too. One of the moments I think to speak to that for me was like when he's with his one of his younger brothers, and he's like, stick the clothes or the clothes hanger in the lamp, and he's like, yeah, I trust you, and then he does it again with the gun. And then that was one of the whispers that hit largely for me when he's like, gives him the board and he's like, you can hit me, and he's like, like fakes it, and he's like, what did you just show me, like that, like
mhm,
yeah, I don't know, just stuff like that. I was like, damn, this is yeah,
yeah,
like this thing that feels so large and like this that feels so heavy on you, like in that moment, but then also it's just life. It's just simple,
yeah.
just
It's
kind
like
of
what it is,
coasting through. Yeah, like
and you just gotta kind
uh,
of like ponder it a little bit.
Yeah.
We were going
Yeah.
through the Cosmo stuff and the dinosaurs. I'm like, okay, where's he going with this? Where's he going with this? But then you see that
Same.
that inherent, like, I guess not evil. I mean, but that dinosaur comes and he steps on the other dinosaur, but he made that dinosaur made a conscious decision not to kill that.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and that's juxtap
Juxtaposed.
parallels,
Yeah,
yeah,
There we go.
parallels
Yeah.
with the boy losing his innocence. He sees this person has died, and that kind of changes his whole outlook on life,
Yeah.
and kind of turns him into this more hateful and like
Yeah.
realizes that the world sucks, and
Repressed kind of.
Callous and
Yeah.
either
yeah.
you get chewed up by the world and spit out, or you just don't make it. So,
Mhm.
Yeah. That's good. That's
so
good. I like that.
when that being said, that made the dinosaur stuff work for me, where I was like, okay, where's he going with this? But then
Yeah.
with that paralleling with this, like, human, there's life, there's first life, then there's dinosaurs wiped out. Now we have people, and we're pretty much the same. We're all the same. We're living creatures, and it's
Yeah.
just we have this inherent, predatory thing about us. It's just a matter of how we control it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think it spoke to like the animalistic side of nature and humans for sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
Where it's just like, how do you control this like beast in you, you know? And
Yep.
Brad Pitt has that beast in him and sort of pushes it onto Jack. So Jack, near the end is like, I'm more like you than I am her. Kind of
Mhm.
realizes that.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just it's solid. Like I said, I was surprised. I was surprised at that one for this one.
And it keeps the theme going that he has in every movie of like this asshole, unaware man stuck with this like unenthusiastic, like
Yeah.
accepting woman. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
like his
I
wife
yeah. I
says
love
like
Jessica's
she's
Chastain and
great.
stuff too. Killed it.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
barely says like anything, but you can like track her emotion the whole way. And
Hmm.
then when she
Yeah.
obviously has like the release moments of like getting like held by Brad Pitt, like she's
Yeah.
just like a great expresser of emotion for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you see her influencing all the kids. You see them fighting without sound, and I don't know. It just came together for me in this one. I was there for it. I was at the beginning when it was showing all that space stuff. I was like, I almost checked out. I was like, what? Like, this is a lot of space shit. Like, where are we
All
at?
right, Malik, what we doing?
Yeah, are we
Yeah.
just flexing here? Like, yeah. So,
The way I justified
um,
it, I was like, oh, this is like his Kubrick scene, but instead of at the end, it's like a third of the way in. Like
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
that's yeah. I was like, I had to kind of like
I think
understand why he was doing
For a
it.
minute, you
For
had to
sure.
think, did Malik actually let his cinematographers wander into space? Like,
Right.
he just gave them cameras. He's like, go on, guys,
First
give
film
us the
crew
footage.
ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
A 10-year mission to Saturn. Holy shit.
Supposedly, he
Dedication.
consulted NASA to see if they would give him any like footage, but I'm assuming NASA, just like they lost the moon footage, they probably lost all the other footage of
It's
space.
out
So
of date. Yeah, we can't use it anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
fuck those guys.
I mean, he doesn't even need them because some of those images are just fucking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I think he got like real footage too because there's a
Mhm.
shot of the volcano that's going off and just like
Yeah.
billowing smoke, and then you see like the lava coming into the bottom. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah. That made me wonder too. I was like, how many locations did they go to
yeah,
for that stuff? Yeah.
right. I did think too, like to me the biggest problems with the movie are that it's like he kind of just wanted to voyage of time it early. It seems like where he
Mhm.
had this grand idea and all these amazing images that he wanted to display, but then he kind of basically just got the funding for his next movie on like the first part of the idea, which is like the family drama. It's like
Yeah.
he got Brad Pitt and Sean Penn on,
Yeah.
and then could to get the movie sold, and then he's like, okay, now I'm gonna make my fucking Planet Earth,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
gotcha, motherfuckers. So like it's like two
Gotcha.
incomplete halves a little bit, and he
Yeah.
like he tries to like thread it together in the right way, and for the most part it works, but it's just very disparate a lot of the time.
Mhm.
Um, but some of the successes that it had were maybe later added on in just like voice, but like when they're playing with like toys with like little animals and stuff like that, it like for some reason it's like this simple link between like the two crazy stories, or there's like a classroom scene, and the person's like, "All right, next word's volcano," and then
Mhm.
it's just like these little. If you don't like hear it or care about it, it doesn't mean shit. But the fact that like we saw a volcano, I don't know. Maybe it's too simple, but at the same time, that's kind of what Malick's saying. Like it's very
Yeah,
simple,
yeah,
but it's very So it's like,
yeah. I think that's why I also like bought into this one more too. It's just like now I have a pretty solid understanding of what his filmmaking technique is, which is just
Mhm.
reinforce themes with imagery, you know,
definitely.
and like pull what you can out of whatever shots
This
we had.
this motherfucker probably makes the best slideshows known to man.
Yeah,
Like,
like, dude, I would watch a
PowerPoints.
Malick Planet Earth. I mean, maybe
yeah,
that's what
fuck
Voyage of
yeah.
Time is. It's
That's what it
amazing.
felt like
Sure.
when this one was starting. I'm like, is this the Cosmos? Is this Malik's
Yeah.
Cosmos here?
Yeah.
Waiting for Neil deGrasse Tyson to come in and start narrating.
I will say, like, as we were making fun of the whispers, like, I don't mind like that concept, but to me, like, the sound mixing is just not right. Like,
It's not, yeah.
it's
This
not
one
leveled.
especially, it stood out a little bit more for me.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I was like, I
Yeah.
try to turn it up, and it doesn't even like help. I'm
Yeah.
like, so I had to go subtitles, but
Yeah, I did
like,
too.
you can say it's a style choice or whatever, but to me, it's like it's not competent
Mhm.
filmmaking.
Yeah.
It's like if like a artist, like a painter, like painted a painting, and then they're like, "Well, you got to dim the lights to 10%. You can't look at it in light."
Yeah.
It's like, well, I can't see it. It's like,
Especially
but that's
Yeah.
the
especially like
point, you know? Like,
yeah.
it's like
Especially this deep into his filmography, where it's like maybe take some cues from your last work, kind of
yeah,
figure out the sound a little bit.
he bumped it lower this one. He's like, oh, now I know
Yeah.
what I need to do. I need to make
He's
it
like,
less
turn it down.
illegible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For real.
crazy. Also noted too, I think Aronofsky is a fan of Malick, it seems like, or he is
Mhm.
emulating some of the stuff he does. Because I've
Yeah.
watched his shit, and his shit's like very metaphysical, wrapped in meaning in a
Mhm.
simple human situation, and I like his movies a lot, honestly. So it's
Yeah.
cool that I assume he's a fan, but
I haven't seen enough, but I could
give him a
yeah.
gander. They're pretty
Yeah.
good.
So, do you guys care to know what Terrence Malick and his cinematographer, their uh, their dogma or rules for filming is? I can
Yeah.
list off a couple for you if you're interested.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
So, shoot in available natural light. That's one. Do not underexpose the negative. Keep true blacks. Preserve the latitude of the image. Seek maximum resolution and fine grain. Seek depth with deep focus and stop. Shoot backlit for continuity and depth. No zooming. Do some static tripod shots in the midst of our haste. That's just like a handful. Avoid lens flares. Avoid white and primary colors in the frame. Yeah, he has just a list of just things that since the New World, those are his
Hmm.
and his cinematographer's dogma is what it's called.
I mean, I kind of
Yeah.
respect a lot of those decisions. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
yeah. I
it's
mean,
cool.
it's clearly working for him because
Yeah.
like this is all of his films from Badlands till now. It's like some of the best cinematography.
For
Yeah.
this one too, I felt like the colors were popping more. Like
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
visuals were definitely crisper. Like maybe
Yeah.
it's just a better
Fine.
camera, but it's a lot easier to watch this than some of his older ones.
yeah, I
Visually.
can see that. Days of Heaven though, I think is still like up there with some of the best like imagery. I don't
Yeah.
know. That one just really
Mhm.
stuck with me.
Not as many. Like that one has like crazy amounts of just grass blowing in the winds. This one has a
Yeah,
couple shots, but
Yeah.
not that many.
it was there. I was waiting for it. It
Hmm.
came a little later in the movie, but it came.
Yeah, you can't have a Malick movie without it.
Right. No, yeah, for sure. Some of the best technical filmmaking I think we've probably seen yet,
Yeah,
barring like Tarantino, and
that's I
Kubrick
Kubrick.
guess
is probably the one that I would say Malick is like kind of on
Yeah.
level with in terms of like just making something on the screen just
work.
beautiful and like to
Yeah.
his standard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
I'd like
Well,
Malick a little better though. I will say,
really,
Yeah.
yeah,
that's bold.
definitely.
Uh, yeah, I think Malick's hard for me to rate. I still kind of haven't like nailed down where I want to fall as far as like how high I'm gonna go in the scale. But this
Yeah.
one I think I'm gonna give 4.
Okay.
So it's
I
high.
this one made me adjust some of the other ones. I gave this one 5 stars. So I went back and had to like reconfigure. I was like, where does this actually land if I think this is 5 stars? So
Yeah.
yeah, 5 stars for me. I was blown away, technically, theming wise. Good shit, Malick.
Yeah.
Good on you.
3.5 for me. First one to drop below 4. But it's not that it's a bad movie. It's just
No,
not
it's
my favorite. It's
yeah. I don't
Fair.
think Malick has made like a bad movie, or can, from what I can tell so far. You
we'll
know?
see.
Yeah,
We'll
we
see.
got time.
maybe
We
I'll
got
eat
some
those
movies
words.
still.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, nothing below 3 or 3.5. I think for me. So I mean, that's
Yeah.
successful filmmaking for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Cool.
Well, I mean, that's all I got for this talk. Next week, what is next? What is Malick's next one?
Is it Voyage of Time, or is that?
I think.
Is that
No, it's
later?
Ben Affleck.
Oh, is it the
Oh,
Cups
yeah.
one?
No, To the Wonder. I think that's what it is.
That sounds about
You're
right.
right.
It's one that I don't even have no fucking idea what it's about. I
Yeah.
just know Ben Affleck's on the poster. So
When I was watching this movie in the same vein as Malick, it came out this year actually. It's The Last Stop in Yuma County. Recommend it. It's on our special website. It's a
Okay.
quick 90-minute, just I don't know, it's good. I like it a lot. It's my kind of movie. But in one of the scenes, this guy told this girl, he said, I'm gonna get you a shotgun. That way you can't miss anything. And she's like, oh, we'll be like Bonnie and Clyde. He's like, no, we'll be like Kit and Holly. And she's like, who the fuck is that? And he's like, Badlands, baby. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Wow. That's the
Nice.
universe just paying off for you, man. You just learned it. Here you go. Now I'll give you
That
some
felt
more.
good. It's like, have you guys seen John Dies in the End?
Nah,
No.
haven't.
There's a scene where some guy says some weird word. He's like, I never heard of that. And he's like, you'll hear it in the next 72 hours or whatever.
Hmm.
And that's kind of
Definitely.
like how it always works.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
that you never heard
Just
of comes
you.
up, you'll hear it again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Well,
Cool.
Yeah. To the Wonder. That's the next one.
yeah, we'll check it out. Hopefully we can I hope we didn't peak here. You know, because I think
Yeah.
a lot of these first
I-
4 or 5
Yeah.
hit people probably pretty well. I've not really heard much about his later half of his career, so I'm curious how it
A
shakes
lot of
out.
what I've read into, the people like I follow on like Letterbox and stuff, they kind of seem to get exhausted in Malick in these next few movies. So
I
we'll
can see
see.
that.
Understandable. Yeah.
I can see the exhaustion. I can feel it. And then for movie chest, it's my pick, right?
It
Yeah,
is.
sure.
So I was between 2, I think. I was looking through my letterbox. I was like, man, what do I really want to watch? Like, and nothing was jumping out that much, other than Before Sunrise
Okay.
and Nashville. Those are the 2 that I'm like, man, I gotta fucking get to those. So
Okay.
I guess I'll leave it up to you guys. You have a preference between those?
Before Sunrise is Ethan Hawke, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Richard
That's
Linklater.
a trilogy.
There's a
Linklater.
trilogy,
Yeah.
so I don't know if we should do 1 or do 3, you know, but
Mhm.
I could always wait for my next pick and then do the second
Matt's
one.
trying to. I was gonna say trying to milk it, get all 3, and just.
I guess
pick.
we'll just do 3. No, but
I would prefer
Nashville,
that one. I don't know
yeah,
what Nashville is.
Same.
it
I mean,
is fuck, now I'm forgetting the director's name. Shit, blanking hard.
just called
Uh,
Nashville.
yeah. It's apparently got like 30 characters and it's this really like
Robert
sprawling
Altman.
Altman. There we go. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Here it's really good. Here it's like one of the best movies of all time. Blah blah blah. You know the shtick. But
Yep.
yeah, it does. I'm pretty curious about it.
24 characters. Jesus.
Yeah.
Fucking.
And if you can do that successfully and like link them all up in a story, I think that'd be cool. But
For sure.
I guess we'll see how successful. But
Actually, that one, I'm kind of interested now in that one.
oh, shit.
Hold up.
Okay.
160 minutes.
It is long. It is long.
No,
But that's only
watched-
what, 2 hours and 40 minutes?
240. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
I just watched The Green
That's-
Mile for the first time right before this podcast.
Fuck yeah!
Oh,
Did you like it?
That was an amazing movie. Holy, I'm surprised
Yeah,
it
it
took me
was.
so long.
You should read the book.
Yeah.
Good book too.
It's
Is that
you can feel
Stephen
Stephen
King?
King's just weird
Okay.
ass shit in there, and
Yeah.
it's like not. It's just enough to elevate the story, but not to like drag it down, you know. And
Hmm.
it was fucking. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great fucking book. That's one here. So, just real quick. I know you want,
Maybe
but like
I'll get into Stephen King. I've been looking for more stuff to read, and I read
he
Read,
released
read
them
Moneyball.
in
Stephen King.
Yeah. Okay.
he released them in serials when he first let them out.
Yeah.
So this is like the Green Mile per chapter. So that must have been like an interesting time
Yeah.
You're
I
like
mean,
be
waiting with
alive.
he's so
bated breath.
toned
Yeah.
down in that. That same with Shawshank. You know, he can
Yeah.
switch into a gear that's like very dramatic and just
Oh yeah.
well done.
Even
And
like I would say The Stand is on that same level of like kind of toned down, but it has the Stephen King weird in it.
it's got the
So
hook. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, it was really good. Yeah, and I'd recommend reading more too. I haven't read all the shit, but his writing style just is so readable. It's so easy to just like get
Definitely.
on board with the characters' minds and shit. So
Yeah. I'm down. I'm down for that.
But
I read
yeah.
Moneyball recently, which was made the movie even better. And
really,
I was surprised at how well it captured. I think the movie.
I'm almost done.
Yeah, I don't think it could have done it better. It like takes the characters that the movie kind of focused on, like the players and Billy Bean, obviously.
Yeah. Did it
But
make it boring, or like is the movie like the Social Network version? You know, like it's sexy
it's
and
the
Have
movie.
you not
Yeah,
seen Moneyball?
paced. I've seen it. I haven't read the
Oh,
book
okay.
though. So
Movie is definitely like glamorizing a lot more,
Mhm.
which kind of fits because the whole point of the book is like, baseball's been this way,
Stats.
and yeah, everyone's like talking about how you got to have this look and this build to be the best and like get
Yeah.
drafted, and then the book's all about, well, no, like Billy Bean and all these stats just tore that apart. So
Right.
um,
That'd be cool
yeah,
to
but
like get
the
the
movie's The
background.
Shiny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. I could
it
see
was good.
that.
I was surprised at like how not boring the book. You didn't even
Nice.
have to be. I don't really give a shit about baseball, and I was like,
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
Right.
So yeah. But yeah, I'll get on some Stephen King. I'm down. I haven't read a single Stephen King book, so
Ooh, wow. Yeah.
that'll be interesting.
Long journey ahead.
What would
Yeah.
you guys recommend I start with out of Stephen King?
The ones that I read was kind of random ones like Mr. Mercedes. It's like a serial killer type one.
Okay.
I read The Institute too. I don't know if I finished it though, but that's a
The
newer one.
Shining was really good.
Shining.
That was like my first Stephen King book, but that's really good. The Stand's huge, but it's really good.
I
Okay.
did start The Stand and I got like maybe 50 to 100 in. I was like, I
Oh,
don't
it's
know.
so
Yeah.
fucking
Bit
good.
of a slog.
It reminds me of like the character writing and the depth of it. It just is like The Wire for me. Every character matters, and it's so deep.
Nice.
Nice.
I'll give it a go again sometime for sure.
If you want something super fucking weird, it's
Yeah.
fucking wild.
Classic.
Read his fucking cocaine on the page days, fucking
Yeah.
spilling out.
In Salem's Lot, it's pretty fun too.
I've heard
That
good
was
stuff about that.
his second book, but it's a good like vampire book, and it's pretty quick.
Nice. Okay. All right. I'll try to remember some of those. The Stand, Institute, Shining. Yeah. Okay. Be down with those.
Cool. All right, boys. Well, I'm gonna hop off and deal with this kitten.
Yeah.
Alright.
So, it was good
Talk to
talking.
you
Talk
later.
next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
So-
good.
Later.
Peace.